Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the Mr. Maple Show. I'm Matt Nichols at Mr. Maple, and my brother and I put out 7 days a week content here on our channel. I hope you'll be part of it by joining us. Today we're at the amazing Maple Walk Garden here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's actually December, a little late for fall color, but guys, anytime you view an Osakazuki in fall color, it's a great day to be a Japanese maple fan. So make sure to like and subscribe to this video. We're gonna give you a second breakdown on this channel of Acer Palmatum Osakazuki. Guys, it's hard to beat Osakazuki in fall color. As you can see with this amazing specimen, it really lights up the show. Now, there's a lot of great characteristics to Acer Palmatum Osakazuki. One of those is that it's very cold tolerant. It's late to leaf out, and it was tested by the Mountain Research Center in Western North Carolina to be one of the trees that performed the best during our '07 freeze. It was a really late freeze, and Osakazuki performed very well. Now, Augustin Coelho, a good friend of ours, presented to the North American Maple Society, actually it was the International Maple Society, about trees that performed slightly better than others in those colder zones. Now, he noted that the Amoenum style Japanese maple was among some of the best. So those larger leaves like Osakazuki really performed well in those colder climates. Now, Augustin was actually trialing some of these at his daughter's place in Norway. So extremely cold. Don't even know what USDA zones those translate to, but you can imagine some of the colds they were going through. And Osakazuki was one of the top on the list for performing well. Now, not only is Osakazuki a cold tolerant tree, it's exceptionally heat tolerant. We're here in Charlotte, North Carolina, in zone 8B. This tree takes a good bit of sun, and it's one of those trees that performs very well. Typically during the summer months, Osakazuki is going to be a lush green, going to more of a Kelly green midsummer, and it really takes the heat exceptionally well. It's also on our list of some of the faster growing Japanese maples. This is one that's going to make a nice broad canopy, typically around 15 feet tall in 15 years. It's not uncommon for Osakazuki to exceed a foot of growth a year, so great canopy to it as well. Typically a 15-foot tall tree is going to have easily a 12 to 15-foot spread, making it a great tree to shade out smaller plants in your landscape. But let's talk about it, guys. The thing that really catches everybody's eye on Osakazuki is that fall color. We're here actually in December, catching just the tail end of fall color. Osakazuki is one of those premium trees in the landscape. You cannot miss it for the color changes it goes through. Absolutely amazing. You know, Steve Bender, the Grumpy Gardener, actually pointed out a great point on this one as well in our podcast with him. He talked about how he loves the Samara color and the seeds and the bloom color that contrast against that green foliage. So you get kind of a blushing of pink red often in the spring over Osakazuki, but the red Samaras and the red tassel flowers actually make a really cool trait that a lot of people miss on this one. So if you're checking out your Osakazuki in the spring and it's a larger specimen like this, I think those seeds, AKA Samaras, are gonna be a really cool trait for you against that green. It kind of makes a contrasting tone as well in those spring months. I love it. It's durable, it's fast growing, it's exceptionally colorful in the fall. It's hard to beat Osakazuki for what it brings to the landscape. If you're looking for a mid to large size Japanese maple, Osakazuki may be the perfect plant for your garden. Guys, when I was in Osaka, I had to ask one of my friends and translators if Osaka had something to do with Osakazuki. And he told me that it has to do with a specific bowl in Japanese culture, and people would instantly identify that color with the color of the bowl. So the bowl has this amazing, intense, bright red coloration. So if you're familiar with that piece of Japanese culture, it'd make perfect sense that Osakazuki goes to that color. Doesn't actually have anything to do with the city of Osaka, but an amazing tree. Now, this is one of the most durable plants. I mentioned some of the cold tolerance and the heat tolerance. This is gonna be able to push it a little bit in that zone 5. These are gonna work zones 5 through 9. You wanna give them some shade in a heavy zone 9, but they're gonna be able to go in that upper end of sunlight for a zone 8 and really perform well. I've been really impressed with its durability, and overall, this is one of the best Japanese maples you can be growing for a fast growing, upright, that's gonna give you amazing fall color. Now, if you haven't already, make sure to check out our other highlight on Osakazuki. We have one that has over 65,000 views on our channel where we talk about an Osakazuki in Dr. Criticos's garden. So if you can't get enough of Osakazuki, definitely check that video out as well. It's one of our favorite trees. Anytime I see this premium tree highlighted in a garden, I've got to get on camera for you guys. Go check out our whole catalog though. We do daily Japanese maple videos, and once a week we drop Japanese maple cultivar highlights. Our catalog now on Mr. Maple is larger than any book you've ever seen on Japanese maples, and it's all free here on the Mr. Maple Show. You can go and learn about Japanese maples. It's the information that Tim and I wish we had. That's the kind of stuff we're trying to provide for you here on the Mr. Maple Show. So make sure to subscribe to that. It's a great way to stay informed. And also shop on MrMaple.com. We greatly appreciate it. If you don't see Osakazuki in stock now, you can always sign up to get notified when it's back in stock. Spoiler alert, it's one we frequent here at Mr. Maple because we absolutely love this tree. And you can see why. I mean, this thing absolutely glows in the landscape, and it's one that's frequently asked for. I mean, we bring this back pretty commonly because everybody loves it. If you have this in your landscape, it's gonna make a huge impact. I love to offset something like Osakazuki with yellows. You know, Hogyoku is one of the more common pairings with it. In the books, J.D. Vertrees often recommends pairing Hogyoku, Ichigyoji, and Osakazuki together for kind of that trifecta. The three look very similar throughout the spring and summer for that green color. Hogyoku going to more of an orange. Ichigyoji is supposed to go to more of a yellow, but it kind of disappoints me on the yellow. I don't think it hits as premium a yellow as I would want to match the fall color here on Osakazuki. It tends to be more orange for me. So my pairing would be slightly different. I recommend Hogyoku, Green Star for that premium yellow, and then Osakazuki. But I love getting some really nice bold yellow near this tree, and you can accomplish that a lot of ways, whether it's a ginkgo tree or something like Fascination. My favorite similar tree though, Green Star. I think that one's gonna provide you a little bit smaller habit, but premium yellow to offset Osakazuki. Again, that's my trifecta. I kind of disagree with old JD a little bit on that one. Ichigyoji for me tends to have more orangey color. I have seen some gardens that had amazing yellows to it. Maybe it's a little mixed up in the US trade, but I absolutely love the pairings, so we always try to get those out there for you guys. It's a fun way to kind of offset Japanese maples for every single season. The fun thing about those three, they're gonna look very similar for most of the time, but then when that fall hits, man, you can see that dynamic contrast going on. Not too far from here, Tom actually has a Fascination, which goes to a bold yellow, another premium contrast for Osakazuki in the fall. But think about things that are gonna kind of complement each other during every single season when you're pairing your Japanese maples. That's a great way to go about it. Osakazuki is gonna look great next to most of your more common lace leaves like Tomukiyama, even because the texture and the color are gonna be so different. So thanks for tuning in today to the Mr. Maple Show. If you haven't already, hopefully you've stuck around to the end of the video. We've earned your like and subscribe. We really appreciate you guys tuning in today. Take care, God bless, and have a great day.